Coming up, changing seasons. Spring has officially arrived, but some parts of the country are still feeling the chill. We'll take a look at what this means and answer what's on one viewer's mind.
Hi, my name is Henry, and my question is, what happens when lightning and snow mix together?
Then we're heading to the Middle East for a look at the changing face of one country in our latest Around the Globe series. Also, this teenager is on a mission to help feed his community with a sweet ingredient.
I was actually watching one night of NBC News with Lester Holt when I saw the long lines of food banks around our country and how many people were affected by what was happening. I decided that the way I could do my part was making and selling homemade vanilla extract.
Plus, he's known for his quadruple jumps on the ice, and now gold medal figure skater Nathan Chen is back with a new project. He'll be here to talk about his new children's book and answer some of your questions.
Hi Nathan, my name is Kai Farr. And I'm Ethan. And I'm Alvin. We skate at the Detroit Skating Club. We have a question for you. How long did it take for you to do a backflip on ice?
And top dog, the French Bulldog edges out the Labrador Retriever on the American Kennel Club's list of top dog breeds. Just what makes the French Bulldog a winner? We'll have details.
This is NBC Nightly News, Kids Edition.
Welcome back to Nightly News Kids Edition. I'm Lester Holt. It is great to be with you guys. We've got a terrific lineup ahead, including how one fourth grade class helped the blueberry become the state fruit of Mississippi. And a bit later on, we'll tell you about one group of volunteers who are making dreams come to life for some kids in Colorado. But before we get to all that, let's begin on the weather front. Spring has officially arrived. The first day of spring in the Northern Hemisphere started on March 20th this year. One sign of spring, Washington, D.C.'s famous cherry blossoms. The National Park Service says a good percentage of the Yoshino cherry blossoms buds are already open. Well, we know you have questions, so let's bring in our good friend and meteorologist Dylan Dreyer. Dylan, always great to have you on the program.
Nice to be here.
So tell me about the official start of spring. It's called the spring equinox.
Yes.
What happens?
Equinox means equal night. So during the spring equinox and even during the fall equinox too, you have 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of nighttime. And from this point on until the first day of summer, the daylight will get longer and longer and longer and the nights will get shorter. So this helps warm up our temperatures. It also helps the trees and the grass grow and the flowers to bloom.
I know. I'm just loving seeing the flowers. It's like a sign
beautiful.
of we're almost out of the cold weather. But there is still cold weather, we should point out, in some parts of the country. Still feeling the chill, including in places like Chicago, where we hear from our young viewer, Henry.
Hi, my name is Henry, and my question is, what happens when lightning and snow mix together?
Oh, Henry, that is such a great question.
I have seen that. Thunder snow, they call it.
Yes,
right?
It's called thunder snow, and what's happening is a really, really intense snowstorm. So have you ever seen anyone do this before, Lester?
Yeah.
Right? Do you know what kind of electricity is?
That's static.
That's static electricity.
Right.
And when you have clouds form, as things are getting all riled up and warm air's rising and things are happening within the cloud, it creates a ton of static electricity. Now, when you have a really big thunderstorm, typical in the spring or the summertime, you get a classic thunder and lightning. But in the wintertime, it's not often you get that much energy within a cloud. But during thunder snow, there are these huge clouds and all that rising and falling air mixes in with the snowflakes and it creates that static electricity. And when that energy is released, it's the thunder that we hear. It's the lightning, and that's what's happening during a big thunder snow event.
It's really amazing to see the bright flashes and the snow falling. All right, good question. And the big question in a lot of people's minds right now, have we seen the last of the snow in those northern parts of the country?
It's a good question. It has snowed in April before, several times in history actually, but the way the pattern's setting up this year, it hasn't been that cold. So I think while we might see snow fall, I don't think we'll get a huge accumulating snowstorm up north. I think we might be just about done with the season.
All right, and summer's on its way. All right, Dylan, thanks very much. All right, let's head to Mississippi, where a fourth grade class just helped the state get an official state fruit. It's the blueberry. What started as a school project led to a bill before the state legislatures after the students realized Mississippi didn't have an official state fruit. It turns out the blueberry is the most produced fruit in the state. The fourth grade class made a field trip to the Capitol after the bill passed the state Senate.
And now we're here in the Capitol. It's like really, really cool because now it's going to the governor.
It's really cool because we've all done this, both of us, both classes, handwritten letters, and it's just really cool that it's going to the governor now.
And Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves made it official, recently signing the bill into law, making the blueberry the official state fruit. That's pretty awesome and tasty, too. Now to our Around the Globe series. This week marks the 20th anniversary of the U.S. and coalition forces' invasion of Iraq, a country located in the Middle East. A lot has happened since then. Our good friend Richard Engel takes a look at the history and the country of Iraq. And kids, you may want to grab a parent or grown-up to watch in case you have some questions.
Iraq is often called the cradle of civilization, with a culture and traditions dating back thousands of years. Located in the Middle East, rocky deserts and mountains make up a good portion of Iraq's landscape. A country with a large oil supply, Iraq also has two famous rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates. Arabic is one of the two official languages spoken here. The bazaars are rich and colorful, but this country also has a dark history. For decades, Iraq was ruled by a dictator, Saddam Hussein.
The danger is clear.
In 2003, President Bush accused Saddam of hiding materials to build dangerous weapons and invaded Iraq to topple him and find the weapons.
On my orders, coalition forces have begun striking selected targets of military importance to undermine Saddam Hussein's ability to wage war.
It turned out there were no weapons of mass destruction. Saddam Hussein, though, was captured and put on trial for war crimes and then executed. For a while, Iraqis were happy Saddam was gone. But soon, American troops found themselves in the middle of a civil war. Removing the dictator unleashed tensions and anger that had long been bottled up. Some people were mad and didn't want American forces in their country anymore.
Iraqis see these kind of attacks every day.
Many journalists like me covered it all.
The girls are still very clingy, clearly in need of a lot of affection.
Finally, after years of war, American troops left. And now, for the first time in a long time, the cradle of civilization is springing back to life.
Okay, let's go.
American soldiers have been replaced by American tourists.
It's great to interact with these lovely people. They are so kind.
On the streets of Baghdad, the capital.
And what do you think so far? How's this experience?
People are so friendly. I would not expect people to be so friendly. I mean, they really are very, very kind, and they'll ask if you're American, and they say, I love you.
Saddam Hussein's lakefront palace has even become the American University in Baghdad.
How's life in Iraq these days?
We need to change the word idea about Iraq. You see, you can see we are living in peace.
Freedom to speak, freedom to live, freedom to do anything.
We are the future of Iraq. Iraqis need us.
Girls are free to dress and act as they want. Something new in this country compared to several years ago. This war was traumatic for Iraqis and Americans. But after years of violence, there are now signs of hope.
How have things changed?
A lot of things changed. People here used to live in war. No, come to Iraq and see the life in Iraq.
All right, Richard, thanks very much for that. Let's turn to our Inspiring Kids series now. This week, we introduce you to a teenage boy from Tennessee who was on a sweet mission to help support his community and families who are hungry. We get details now from our good friend Kristen Dahlgren.
From a young age, William Cabanis saw his peers struggling with food insecurity.
Growing up, seeing that as early as kindergarten, where when you walk into school and your friends and classmates come to school hungry, that's given me just this desire to help feed those in need, because if I have the luxury to be going home to food, why can't others?
William decided to take action in 2020 when the COVID-19 pandemic forced millions of people to turn to food banks for meals, many for the first time in their lives.
It was actually watching one night of NBC News with Lester Holt when I saw the long lines of food banks around our country and how many people were affected by what was happening. I decided that the way I could do my part was by selling homemade vanilla extract.
William created his own recipe for vanilla extract and began selling bottles from home, donating all the proceeds to the Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee. He had no idea how quickly it would take off.
Been able to donate over $200,000 and feed over 600,000 people.
Along the way, his friends and family have stepped in to help him pack, ship, and deliver orders. And his social media manager is a very special volunteer.
I, for one, am not the best at Facebook, but I knew my grandma was very talented in that area. So she has been our Facebook coordinator for a long time.
Almost 3 years later, William is still running Vanilla Feeds Tomorrow, continuing his mission of fighting hunger across East Tennessee. And even though he's juggling homework, track team practice, and running a nonprofit, he hopes to keep up the good work.
When I started Vanilla Feeds Tomorrow, I had no idea where it was going. And my only goal was to make the biggest difference that I could. I'm just going to keep trying to do what I'm doing and help the most people that I can.
Kristen, thanks so much for that. Time for our pop quiz. And for all you basketball fans out there, this one is for you. The NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Tournament, otherwise known as March Madness, is underway right now. It's a tournament for college players and fans of all ages. Look forward to this every year. So the question is, what year did March Madness start? Was it A, 1943, B, 2001, or C, 1939? I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. Okay, time's up. The answer is C, 1939. The first NCAA Division I men's basketball tournament was played with 8 teams back in 1939. Oregon was the first champion, beating Ohio State for the title. We turn now to a special guest known for his quadruple jumps, or as the Quad King. Figure skater Nathan Chen was the gold medalist in men's figure skating at the 2022 Winter Olympics in Beijing last year. He's back, but now as an author of a new children's book titled Wei Skates On. And Nathan joins me now. Nathan, great to see you.
It's great to see you too. Thanks for having me.
I love this story, this book, because it's really kind of mirrors some of your own experiences coming up as a young figure skater.
Absolutely. Writing this book, I really try to think about what a young version of myself would have loved to see, and so I'm really lucky to have the team that I had to put the book together, and really excited about it.
I'm thinking it's been over a year since you won gold in Beijing. How has this last year been for you?
It's been great. I'm back at college right now, so just finishing up school and focusing on things outside of skating for a little bit, which has been a nice change of pace. But I still love skating, and I still find myself at the rink from time to time. So it's been a good year so far.
Wei's story is my story is the way you kind of picture this book, and you really kind of dig into fear and how it can be crippling when you're really trying to be perfect.
Exactly, and I think really that's sort of the theme of the book, trying to understand how to re-envision fear and worry and anxiousness, as everyone does, into joy and into being grateful and really just being able to enjoy the moment. And that's what I was able to do as I headed into 2022 at the 2022 Olympics, versus when I competed at 2018, where it didn't quite go quite the way that I wanted it to. But really just switching that mentality made a big difference for me.
Yeah, fear of not winning, is that something that still is in the back of your mind when you're out there?
It's definitely there, but just having the tools now to reevaluate it, look at it, and be like, how many opportunities do I have to do this? And I've worked really hard for this, and I really, really want this opportunity. So I might as well go out there and enjoy every moment that I can, so I can look back on my experience with fond memories, instead of worrying so much about, the nitty gritty and little details of trying to win a medal or whatever. That's, that will come secondary as long as you enjoy it. That's the most important thing.
Well, you never know when you're watching you, because you seem so in command and so on point. What do you hope kids take away from this book?
Yeah, there's a few things. I think one, just being comfortable communicating your worries and your fears to your parents, to your team, to the people around you. Being communicating your worries is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength. And I think that's something that I'd really like readers to take away. And then also just to, again, as we just mentioned, looking into any event, anything that brings nerves or fear or worries, think about the things that you can do well. Focus on, the fact that you're confident, that you're capable, that you're strong. And through that, a lot of times good things will happen. So I think those are the two things that I hope readers take away from it.
Yeah, you were just 3 when you first started skating. What would you tell young skaters who are watching who one day hope to be in your shoes to compete on the national and world level?
I think the two things would, as the book sort of alludes to, just really form a tight community of people around you. And specifically for me, that was my parents, that was my family. Make sure that I, tell them everything, tell them how I'm feeling, tell them what I need, all these things, because they can't help you unless they know. And so that was huge for me. And trust your parents, trust your coaches, trust the people around you. They love you, they support you. And that's really important. And then also every single step of the way, it's all about, as cliche as it sounds, it's all about the journey and not the destination. So really focus on enjoying every moment of the journey.
That's such important advice. Well, we asked some of our viewers to submit video questions. Our first viewer is a big fan of yours. Here it is.
Hi, I'm Lynn. Why did you write this book?
Why did you write this book?
I love these the children's questions because they're always such good questions. Why did I write this book? I wrote this book because I wanted to hopefully provide a book for a young kid like me to just hear about my experiences and hopefully gain some inspiration and learn a little bit along the way.
All right, our next question is from 3 figure skaters in Detroit.
Hi, Nathan. My name is Kai Farr. And I'm Alvin. We skate at Detroit Skating Club. We have a question for you. How long did it take for you to do a backflip on ice?
Oh, yeah, a backflip. That's got to be scary.
Great question. It took me, I used to do gymnastics growing up, actually. So I had the sort of mechanics of a backflip down. But that took me a long time as a kid to learn how to do a backflip to start with. And then when it transferred onto the ice, honestly, it's a little bit easier than doing a backflip off the ice. But just, again, getting over the fear of doing it. And once I was able to get over the fear of doing it, it took me a couple tries.
Our next question is from an aspiring skater.
Hi Nathan, my name is Henry. What advice would you give a boy aspiring to be a competitive skater?
What about that?
Again, an incredible question. Again, as this book mentions, really just formulate your team, trust your team. You yourself are incredible, amazing. You're going to be able to do so much, but there's going to be, no person can do everything by themselves. So make sure you find the people around you that can love and support you when you need the support, and take their advice for gold, and really try to adopt it as much as you can so that you can work together as a team, and everyone will work together and get you to your goals. So greatest luck, and definitely be rooting for you.
Our last video question is about your recent gold medal.
Hi, my name is Eileen from Queens, New York, and my question is, what was the first thing you felt when you got gold in the Olympics?
I'm so glad she asked that question, because when I see you guys out there receiving your gold medals, I think, what must that be like?
Really just the flood of memories of all the time that I spent in the sport, thinking about my parents, my mom, my coaches, all the people that have supported me, and realizing that this is, again, a group effort. This was not me just by myself on the ice. It was days and days and days and hours of people helping me, giving me advice and assistance and support all throughout my career. And it was a group effort.
Well, Nathan, thanks so much for stopping by. Great to see you, and continued great success.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Well, have you heard there's a new top dog? According to the American Kennel Club, for the first time in 3 decades, the Labrador Retriever was outranked by, get this, the French Bulldog. Our pal Sam Brock has details.
To wear the crown of most popular canine, it's really a dog-eat-dog competition. But apparently America has spoken, and the answer is the French Bulldog.
My buddy, she's my best friend. The sweetest dogs, crazy too. They're a lot of balls of energy.
The Frenchies really lapping up the limelight after the American Kennel Club announced their registrations leapfrogged the previous title holder for 3+ decades, Labrador Retrievers, who have a bone to pick with that dethroning. And so do their owners.
I'm a lab mom for life.
And why is that?
I think because of my lifestyle and their lifestyle.
Third on the list, golden retrievers.
Are you surprised that the French Bulldog is now the most popular dog in America?
They're expensive, they're cute, you know, but for me, it's not for me.
But as the owner of Dog Bar in Miami Beach points out, they're the perfect dog for modern-day America.
And a French Bulldog just wants to sit on the couch and watch TV with you.
Whether sleeping or show-stopping, there's clearly a new sheriff in town.
Sam, thanks so much. Those French Bulldogs are awfully cute, but I got to tell you, I'm partial to the Labradoodle. I think a lot of you know why. Finally, in our picture of the week, some kids in Colorado are seeing their dream snowmen come to life thanks to some special volunteers. Kids at Children's Hospital Colorado who can't play in the snow draw a snowman. Then volunteers from Generation Wild, a movement encouraging kids to play outside, bring the ideas to life. The Denzer family from Steamboat Springs, Colorado participated for the first time this year. The patient said his favorite color was blue and his favorite animal is a tiger.
We thought it'd be fun to do a snowman and to give it to one of the kids in the hospital to help them feel better, I think. I definitely encourage other families to do it because it's really fun building the snowman and to see what you can make out of a pile of snow.
And once the snowmen are built, the kids in the hospital get to see pictures of them. It's terrific. Well, that's going to do it for us. Parents, just a reminder, if your child has a question about any topic in the news, email a video to us at nightlynewskids@nbcuni.com. You can also follow us on Instagram @nightlykids. Thanks for watching, and remember to take care of yourself and each other. So long.